Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another figure review. This time we have the Hasbro Pulse exclusive 2-pack of Drax the Destroyer and Moondragon. As you can see, they label it as Guardians of the Galaxy, but I think this would kind of be before, like, it's all complicated. These Guardians of the Galaxy figures, they kind of throw that Guardians of the Galaxy logo on there because the characters are known for the Guardians of the Galaxy, while those figures aren't necessarily tied to the Guardians of the Galaxy, if that makes sense. This is not the typical Drax the Destroyer look that some of us would know. Like an MCU guy like me, I'm not familiar with this version of Drax. This version I'm more so familiar with, and then of course the MCU version, which is wildly different. But yeah, here is the original appearance of Drax the Destroyer. He was a human. His family died because of Thanos and this and that, and Kronos, I think it was Kronos, used his life essence and put him in this body here to be the destroyer of Thanos. So that's kind of what's going on there. And then Moondragon is actually his daughter. So yeah, lots going on there. I won't get into the story really because again I'm not familiar with it. I did read up on some things, and there's a lot of stuff to kind of go over. But I will just focus on the figures because the figures are pretty cool. Moondragon is like iffy because she has single jointed elbows, but she's got the pinless legs, so they're not flimsy, which is good. And then Drax the Destroyer is like this massive figure that's so much bigger than I would have thought, and I should have known, right? We've seen these parts before. I think it uses some Caliban, maybe some Apocalypse. I'd have to double check that, but it's just a massive figure, which is pretty cool. I will do a comparison with that Drax figure, with the Thanos, and then with an Adam Warlock figure for you guys to see. But again, this is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive 2-pack. Here we have a look at the box. We see the two figures there. We got the artwork on the side there of Drax and Moondragon. Here on the back of the package, we get the loadout of everything that they come with. So you can see Moondragon comes with an extra pair of hands, just the standard open hands that basically every single female figure ever. Oh, you know what? These ones are a little bit different, actually. So that's actually pretty good. Drax does come with a couple of open hands. So he has the fists on the figure already. And then we get this open left hand and then kind of a grip hand for the right, which is pretty good. And then this one, the right hand actually has a vertical hinge. Interesting, but you know, if it were to grip something, it doesn't. And then we also get an interchangeable head sculpt, which looks really good because you could see he's kind of like a screaming, raging head sculpt. And that's nice. I love the green, and then they actually add in some shading under his eyes and everything. The paint inside of his mouth came out very clean. So very good looking head sculpt. Very, very good. So there we go on the package. So now let's go ahead and take a look at the figures. We'll go ahead and take a look at Moondragon first, and then we'll take a look at Drax. Okay, so here is the Moondragon figure. The head sculpt is very good. I love the paint work on there. The digital print came out really nice. The green lipstick, the silver moon earrings are very nice. She has no hair whatsoever, but the figure looks good. She's got this big-ass cape on there with this huge collar piece. And that is glued on there, as you can see right in the front. That is glued. There is a peg hole in the back and a peg on the cape, but mine is like warped up, so it doesn't actually peg into the back of the figure. I'm not sure if that's just mine or if that's going to be everyone's. It doesn't really hinder anything when it comes to the figure, so I mean, it just the cape still flows. But I tried to kind of get in there because it's glued on there. I'm scared to force it up too much, and then it's kind of stuck in there pretty good. I can't really unwarp it down to try and peg it, so I'm not going to worry about it. But you know, you guys let me know down in the comments below if your guys is pegged into the back. I am curious about that. Looking at the figure, we get this new upper torso piece because it has sculpted line work and stuff in the top, which is pretty good. It is actually the skin tone is the base of the plastic, and then the green is actually all painted on there. Looks pretty good. No real issues going on there. We get some silver paint here on her sides there, and then a little bit of greens there on the upper leg, and then the lower leg and the feet are all just dark green. I am disappointed again in the single jointed elbows. It would be nice to get the double jointed elbows, but the important thing is the legs. We get the not flimsy legs, so she has no issues standing up, although the cape is very back heavy and she wants to fall over like that, and that's to be expected when you got a big ass cape, so I'm not too concerned about that. I forgot to mention here the upper arms, that is a sculpted glove like end piece there, so it's not just like painted or anything. So we do get some sculpt work in there, but would be nice to have a bicep swivel or something in there, but we do not get that. But yeah, there we go. Head sculpt looks really, really good. And then again, she comes with the interchangeable hands, and as you can see here, these are not just the standard open hands that we typically see. These are a little bit different, so at least we got that going on there. So that is the Moondragon. So now let's go ahead and take a look at Drax. Whoops, gotta adjust the camera. Drax is very, very, very tall, very big figure. Okay, so here is Drax, and it looks pretty good. The green for his face is very good. Like, looking at his body, the green that we have here, it's a little bit shiny. Nothing terrible or anything like that. But on the face, it's a matte finish, and it just looks really good. It reminds me of like a glow-in-the-dark green. It just looks really good. I like the wrinkles that we get in there. The shading around his eyes, which is really nice. And then around some of the wrinkles, like right there on his forehead, between his eye where eyebrows would be, we actually get some shading in there. And I don't know if that's just part of the digital face print, because, you know, like the lips are a part of the print and everything. But it looks really good to kind of show us the depth and the texture of his face, which is cool. We do get an interchangeable head, so let's pop that one off. And let's put this one on. And there we have that, and that is really good. And again, same kind of matte finish on the skin tone, which just looks really good. But the paint apps are just outstanding on there, like inside of his mouth, like the gums and the tongue and everything just came out looking really, really, really good. So those are the two head sculpts, and then interchangeable hands. Again, he just has fists, and then we have this open left hand here, and then we get this grip, like open holding hand for the right, which has the vertical hinge. Nothing to grip onto, though. And then looking at the rest of the figure, we just get this belt here, and it looks like they added in some shading or dry brush to the skull itself, which is nice. So you could see it kind of stands out a little bit. You see some of the black in there. We get the skull there, and kind of the same thing. It looks like a little bit of a, whether it's dry brushing or a little bit of a wash in there, which is nice. It's got these gold bands, but he's got like these pinkish purple pants, as you can see there. Inside of the cape is nice and textured. The back, it's hard to tell if there's any kind of paint shading in there. I want to say no. I don't think there's any paint shading. Now, it looks like it because those are actual shadows that are being cast with the lighting that I have. It does not look like there's any paint going on there. Then the shoulders just green and purple there. But yeah, that is Drax the Destroyer. He is a beast. He is a very, very large figure. But he looks really, really good. I like it. Okay, so articulation for Drax. His head, it's kind of tricky when it comes to the cape. So he can look down that much. He can look up that much. What I forgot to take a look, though, is the cape does come off, just so you guys are aware. But the cape does hinder the articulation in his head quite a bit, especially the raging head, because his chin comes down a little bit more. It definitely gets in the way of the skull collar piece there. So just a heads up on that. You can turn to the side. Not a whole lot of pivot going on in there. The shoulder can go straight on out like so. You get a full rotation in there. Upper bicep swivel. Single jointed elbow. Gives you just about 90-degree bend there. Wrist swivel, and they do hinge. They all have the standard horizontal hinge, except for the right grip hand does have a vertical hinge on there. Drax has an ab crunch that can come forward. This belt piece gets in the way a little bit. He can crunch forward that much. He can go back quite a bit there, but the cape does get in the way. Let me see. Can I force it some more? No, not really. Yeah, he can't come down anymore there. We do have a swivel in there. The belt does get in the way, so you just have to kind of adjust it around. Legs go out that far apart, which is good. Can't kick forward that far. Leg doesn't really go back. You have an upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed knee, like so. We have no boot swivel on this guy, unfortunately. You think it would have been perfect to do there, but they did not. Foot hinges down, some hinge up, ankle pivot pickles at the bottom of the feet. So there we have the articulation for Drax. Let's move on into Moondragon now. So Moondragon, her head is on a disc hinge, so she can look up that much. She can look down that much there. She can move her head side to side. You do get some pivot going on in there. The shoulder you can get to go out straight out that much. You can do a full rotation in there. Just keep in mind you have to kind of work it around the cape a little bit. Single jointed elbow, but we get a swivel at that elbow. That much bend, so just about 90 degrees. Wrists swivel, and they do hinge, standard horizontal hinge on all of the hands. We have the diaphragm cut on her, so she can tilt to her left that much, which is actually really good. She can tilt to her right. Did I say right? This is her right, the other was her left, right, that much. Going back is quite a bit, as you can see there. The cape will get in the way. You can see some of the gap in there, though. And then coming forward is hardly anything at all. Kind of typical of what we see with the female figures now, unfortunately. She can, you do have a swivel at that diaphragm joint there. Legs go out that far apart. She can kick forward that far, which is really good. Leg goes back a little bit. Upper thigh cut in there. Double jointed pinless knee gives us that much bend there at the knee, which is quite nice. No calf swivel or anything like that, but foot hinges down all the way. You get some hinge up, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So the diaphragm continues to be something that just does not lean forward very much. Does go back and has a good tilt and has the swivel, but moving forward just isn't going to happen with female figures. Okay, and so for some side-by-side comparisons, I'm going to show you guys a couple of them. Here, I didn't want to take out a whole lot of figures from my display, but here we have next to Adam Warlock, so a standard 6-inch figure, as you can see on the bucket cap body, how large Drax is compared. So there we have Adam Warlock, and then here we're going to throw in Thanos. We'll put Thanos right next to Drax, and you can see Drax is significantly larger than Thanos, and then here we have Adam Warlock, bucket cap figure. So crazy size difference between the two. So Drax is extremely large. So just to kind of show you guys, because at some point this body is killed, and from that body emerges a slimmer version of Drax with more intelligence. So here we have this one. This is from the Entertainment Earth box set for Guardians of the Galaxy. So we have that Drax figure. There was a previous Drax figure released in the... I don't know what wave. Was it Arnim Zola wave? One of those waves early on. There was a different Drax figure that was even smaller. I don't know how that figure was. I never picked it up. I've seen it before in stores, but I never got it. So there is another Drax figure out there somewhere, but this one is the comic-based one from the Entertainment Earth box set, which does reuse parts from like the movie Drax figures, and then has some of the same parts from like a Luke Cage figure from, I think, the Thunderbolts box set. So yeah, two different Drax figures, two different looks. I know this one is a very popular look, but I think it's a little less known because of MCU people like me, the people that didn't read the comics. This is what we would probably more so know than this, but this is really cool. Okay, so that is my review of the Guardians of the Galaxy, Drax the Destroyer, and Moondragon Hasbro Pulse exclusive 2-pack. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this 2-pack? Is it one that you picked up? Is it one that you passed on? Or is it one that you're waiting on one of those Hasbro Pulse sales to pick it up? Again, it is exclusive to Hasbro Pulse. It could be one of those things where eventually it becomes available on Entertainment Earth or Big Bad Toy Store or Nerdzoic or Toy Snowman even. A lot of Hasbro Pulse exclusives have seemed to gone that way. Not sure if this will, but it's a pretty cool pickup, but you guys let me know your thoughts on this 2-pack. Let me know if this is the Drax the Destroyer that you prefer over the green with red markings. Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.